The charter and responsibilities of the team steward role are among the most discussed topics in my work with clients and teams. Can the responsibilities be handled by someone else? Can they be passed around round robin among the team members? When is it time to hire a dedicated specialist? What kind of specialist is the right fit? Welcome to Agile Team Foundations with Barry Hawkins. Please be sure to like and subscribe. This video series is based on training that I've delivered over the years, both as an internal game and product development leader, building teams myself, and in my work with clients, helping them establish or evolve their approach to development process. In this episode, we'll be taking a deep look at the team steward, what its role, responsibilities, and characteristics are, and some nuances around how different flavors of team steward might or might not be the best fit for the approach you're trying to take in your development process. If you're new to my channel and my work, you may be wondering, what is a team steward? And a team steward is one of three crucial roles at the team level for agility and development process. The team steward sits alongside the product steward in partnership, and the two of them work together with all of the cross-functional team members that are doing the work to move ideas from concept to live. So on a traditional mainstream software product development team, you might have some special flavors, specific flavors of engineering, coupled with some quality assurance or QA folks, and there might also be some UX or product design folks on the team. And these roles all work together in collaborative partnership to make the thing. First and foremost, it's the team steward's responsibility to steward the health and effectiveness of their development team. And by health, I mean how well this team is getting along, working together, collaborating with one another, ensuring that there's psychological safety and equal representation for all team members, so that as they're identifying work, breaking it down, talking about possible approaches, all of that has each of those functional disciplines with equal footing and a seat at the table. In terms of effectiveness, the team steward is making sure that the throughput and the flow of every development cycle are highly visible and observable to the team, so then when it comes time to inspect and see how they might want to adapt their development process, they have the material they need to be able to make the most informed decision or next set of experiments and tweaks that they might want to try. Another key aspect of team stewardship in an agility-based approach is that the person in the team steward role has to have sufficient domain knowledge to know what good looks like in the context of what that team is developing. So you wouldn't take someone from, say, finance or accounting and plop them into a game art team and say, it'll be fine, because they're going to have no idea around how the people on this team, the different disciplines, collaborate, around what an effective asset pipeline looks like, any of the things that are necessary for this team to be working together well. And it's one area where traditional and classical approaches to project and program management tend to fall down, as they have a cookie cutter recipe that they believe could be plopped into any old situation and excellence will ensue. For example, let's say that in a game studio, I had two team stewards within the art department, and one of them was attending the daily stand-up of the other team stewards group. At the end of that daily stand-up, just based on the interactions and statements between team members, this other person whose team it is not could likely have an informed conversation and have some pretty good assumptions on where points of friction or delays in handoff or lack of clarity between two parties might be, because they know how art teams are meant to collaborate and discuss and interact, and they know what it means for there to be an effective, crisp handoff from one person to the other as things move from concept to implementation and things of that nature. That's not to say that the team steward has to show up to a team being a complete expert in what that team works on, but rather they have enough of that foundation, and then they complement that with humility and curiosity and ask clarifying questions and learn about the specific nuances of that group, all with an eye toward tailoring the approach to work well for that team, all while holding in place the practices that we know are crucial to an effective team development process. The team steward fosters team health and effectiveness with that sufficient domain knowledge, primarily through facilitating the development process. That is, how this team's development cycle is executed. The team steward is front and center, facilitating and running the logistics and operations of that cycle to ensure that effective collaboration is happening, effective communication across parties, regardless of a given person's individual communication style or challenges, and they're doing what they can to ensure that that group is working together in harmony, and that as differences arise, that we have a means and an approach for resolving conflict and differences of opinion so that we can figure out a way forward. So what characteristics should a team steward have to be set up for their best chance at success in the role? This is a question that I get a lot, and it's not as straightforward as you might think, because there are many flavors of the discipline that most often fills a team steward role. The type of team steward that I'm talking about is one that favors facilitation over domination. There are many people in the field of project or program management or game production who have learned their craft largely on their own or by imitating the people that they've seen before them, and it's sometimes a very distinct flavor of driving meetings and driving a process or a planning activity where they're largely just bulldozing and pushing everyone through it or dragging everyone along behind them, as opposed to bringing everyone together and ensuring that it's an even-keeled and active discussion, all with an eye towards, effectiveness and making sure that we're making the progress and the headway that we need to, but not driving towards a predetermined outcome that they have in their own mind with no regard for where the process and the team are actually at and with where the team is at in figuring out what it is they're trying to accomplish. It can be controversial, but for me, people that are set up for success as team stewards possess some degree of empathy. That is, they don't find themselves challenged in trying to put themselves in the shoes or the place of other people on the team. Depending on what a given person's functional discipline does as part of a team, their work might have to deal with a lot of uncertainty at the front of a development cycle and figure out a way forward. Or it might be someone who can't really do their part until much of the work of the other people has been done. And as a team steward, you need to be able to think about and understand as much as you can what their experience is like, because in a given team and in how their development process works, there will come times when what may have been working for months or years will change as some new skills or new teams enter the picture, because what they do was not accounted for before and now they're here. And so if we're not paying attention to that, it can make for a really rough road for the new people coming in, but it also can make a recipe for frustration and a lack of understanding at why things are wrong now for the people who've been there since before. Another crucial characteristic of an effective team steward is to favor the interactions between people and not your tools. I see this affect the ability of people to fill this role effectively very often, because so many people who come into team steward roles come from at least some exposure to classical project and program management, where the framework or especially the tool drives everything, often at the expense of the effectiveness of the interaction of the people, or even the ability of the people to use the tool for the thing it purports to help them accomplish more easily. And if you're going to take team stewardship seriously, you will spend more time creating manual artifacts or curated artifacts that supplement your tool, and honestly, turning off a lot of the features in the tool you may be using, because most of them were designed with little to no understanding of what effective team level development process looks like, let alone how you structure such a process so that people are having the best collaboration experiences they can have together. The functional disciplines that most often fill a team steward role all categorize under a functional discipline umbrella of delivery management. And within delivery management, you'll have technical program managers, project managers, technical project managers, game producers, development managers. There's so many names for the disciplines that accomplish this, but I'll say that delivery management as a functional category has a bit of a challenging charter in the product development landscape. Many organizations view delivery management as a nice to have, a luxury, or sometimes a crutch for the people who can't do it like the big boys and girls do. And those viewpoints, especially the latter viewpoint, are particularly tragic because most of the people who view delivery management as a nice to have never even actually seen it. It's just something they say. I see this a lot in big tech, stemming from certain environments and communities that believe that engineering and product management are all you need and everything else is easy. Anyone could do that. But if you do this long enough and get outside a possibly very homogeneous biome, you'll see that delivery management can greatly amplify the effectiveness and throughput of a product development organization, particularly as it hits certain inflection points of scale. I frequently advise and work with very early stage startups and independent game studios where staffing is very, very precious, and they want to know, at what point do I need a for real team steward, like someone with that specialization? And it's there's no precise formula on exactly when to bring them in, but here are a few characteristics that I use in deciding when is the right time. One is, typically you will have scaled to beyond a few teams because now the dependencies that need to happen between teams are greater, and you probably also have, with that larger number of teams, you have a more complicated stakeholder landscape, so the people who are asking those teams are more varied and with not a lot of overlap in their individual interests. And additionally, you have likely reached the scale with your product where the things that each team needs to do are not as straightforward as they once were. In the very early stages, what the team needs to work on is existential. Like, we get these set of things done by this milestone review, or we get these set of things done by the close of this funding round we're going for, or we don't, and we go find new jobs, or we figure out what it means to fail a milestone review with the publisher. As things go from that just existential crisis of what to do next to, well, there are a number of things we could do, and which one should we pursue next? And what does that mean for all of these teams? Because any one of those things that we're being asked for also usually involves the fairly close collaboration between 3 or more of those teams. So take a look at how complicated your product is getting, how large it's getting, the number of teams you have, and the scale, and the breadth and complexity of your stakeholder map. And those will usually give you a fair degree of understanding of, are we at the point where we actually need to bring in some actual team stewards who do this full time and are dedicated to this craft? In my work, the most discussed topics in my work with clients and teams. Welcome to Agile Foundation. Do the actual work. Nah. Work with those they work with them. And the delivery and projection of those, no. Functioning, how well they're getting along with one another, how often I'm touching my face because I got an itch just as I started this segment. Did I see wreck, if not well, I mean, wreck's kind of like if you wrecked it, like what else, where do you go from there? And they got on the roof with a rifle. Yeah, okay. Cut. Functional disciplines that team stewardship completely left me. Yeah, just like, phew. So I'll go try to find it and come back. Contact me in the comments below or do some other shit that I haven't thought of. What have I? Okay. For more information on how you can work with me. I really want to do it in one take. I don't know why. I could just chop this up. Thanks for watching. Please be sure to like, subscribe, and click the notifications icon so that you'll be first to know when new Agile Team Foundations episodes and other product development videos are uploaded. If you're looking for support in your team's development process journey, check out the links in the description below for more information on how you can work with me. For the next Agile Team Foundations episode, check out the video up here, and for the full Agile Team Foundations playlist, check that out here. Again, I'm Barry Hawkins. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.